Jumbo Mambo Familia Angu. This is Eli-Ben-Eli, your bull-headed grandfather, and I just want to urge you to please do me a big favor. Like and subscribe. And if you are interested in coming to the United States or whatever, and I can be of any help to you, let me help you. I was once an attorney. I no longer am. I don't practice law anymore, but I was once an attorney, and in the state of Texas. I don't mind putting my business out there. That's the truth. Bro, let me call you right back, okay? I'm making a video. All right. Okay, bye-bye. Anyway, I wanted to talk about the most interesting village, the most interesting village currently in existence in Africa. It's not because they're doing anything good. It's because of all of the funny things that are happening. And in Kenya, the answer to Nollywood in Nigeria is Niabohanset. So what should we call it? Niabohansethood? But in Nollywood, they make films. In Kenya, they make videos for YouTube. Folks, I have heard it from several different sources. Currently, there is an outbreak of malaria, pneumonia, the flu, colds, fevers, all of this. I'm not laughing at the fact that people are sick. I'm laughing at the fact that all of this is going on. King Marwa, the Grand Poobah, the High Bishop, the Chief of the Exchequer, the Chancellor of the Exchequer, he who walks tall among the corn and pisses in public anywhere, as well as many other titles. The Grand Poobah has been laid low by malaria. He's been laid low by possibly the flu, possibly cholera, I don't know, possibly food poisoning. Not to mention the fact that he's facing demonetization. He's facing demonetization. That would lay anybody low. But folks, if you haven't liked and subscribed, please like and subscribe. Subscribe to my channel. Before I get into talking about the Marwa situation any further, I want to apologize. I lost a video yesterday, and I gave you folks a shortened version of what I meant to give you, but hopefully today that won't be a problem. But anyway, folks, the question you obviously want to ask is this. I will ask it for you. Circumstances beg a question. And what is the question that it begs? In light of the fact that there's so many ongoing disasters, health disasters, in light of the fact that this is malaria season, that this is rainy season, this is mosquito season in that part of Kenya, why in the name of God would Mara insist on throwing a rumble in the jungle, a fiesta en la esta, a celebration of what? That his home is being flooded out, that if there was any question about this, now you'll know the answer. Marwa lives in a swamp / floodplain, okay, / bog, okay, and this is where you are being asked to party. They tell you that the place where they expect all of the foolish Mazungus that come over there, the place that they expect them to be is a forest across, I don't know whether you really called the Magori River, or whatever river that is. I don't know whether you You can actually call it a river, or it is, in fact, a glorified creek. Here in America and right in Africa, there are rivers that are miles and miles wide. You know, Marwa himself, when he was in Brazil, traveled on a river that is so wide that if you're in the middle, you cannot see the shores. So I don't know whether that makes that so-called river actually a glorified creek. Whatever it is, I promise you, you don't want to step in it during a heavy rain because you would be swept away and drowned. That little cute waterfall that Mara wanted to build on his property, watch how that little cute waterfall flows when it's really raining. It's a torrent of water. So my question to you is this. If there is no bridge going from Marwa's property to the woods where he expects partygoers to camp in the middle of a torrential rain in a flimsy little tent, if there is no bridge, how are they going to get across? Stepping on slippery rocks? I promise you that if people do that, a lot of those people are going to end up drowning. Please, it's like Marwa is not saying it. You all need to decide this for yourself. Okay? That villa, that so-called villa, the Hacienda Medellin, the Thrilla Villa in the Kenyan Manila. That place right now is dangerous. It's boggy. It's muddy. They're digging pit latrines without any kind of reinforcement. So that not only will all of your poo-poo and pee-pee come floating out of that pit latrine if the hole gets flooded, you could very well end up swimming in pee-pee and poo-poo if you approach one of those holes, and the ground gives way and you slide into the hole. You want to know something? The thing that breaks my heart is the mud bath. It breaks my heart because I thought that my homeboy, Mawira, was gonna become a star from that because of that mud bath. Instead, Mawira wisely chose to flee and get the heck out of there. The person who currently is fascinating me, I mean, the gall, the audacity, just the sheer what the Jews of New York City, Yiddish-speaking Jews call chutzpah, the chutzpah of that so-called engineer. Not only is he not leaving, he's walking around making speeches and making content and talking like if everything's under control, everything is going forward. Oh, there is no problem. Did the house fill with water? Of course. Well, that's nothing. Was water pouring? Marwa wanted a rainfall, a waterfall. He got his waterfall. The water coming off of the roof of that house looked like a waterfall. The point that I'm making to you is this. It takes an incredible amount of nerve on the part of that engineer, number one, to show his face. Pardon me for these noises. Some of them are beyond my control. I'm not an expert with technology. It takes an incredible amount of guts and courage for the man who is responsible for this debacle, this botch, this, catastrophe, to be walking around acting like if nothing is wrong, everything is fine, never mind the fact that the house is flooded, never mind the fact that the grounds are flooded, never mind the fact that the mud work where he came very close to embezzling a lot of money, because dollars will get you the Mendazis. Let's put it like this: that all of those rocks that were being delivered, all of the companies or the people that were delivering rocks to Marwa, we're giving that engineer a cut. And I'm willing to bet you something else. A lot of the other suppliers are doing things for him. Okay? It takes an incredible amount of nerve to have led Marwa down the garden path, allow him to squander a ridiculous amount of money building that mud hole, only to see it swamped with water and rendered useless. It takes an awful lot of guts to have built that glorified shack that Marwa is living in. In Alaska, you know what they call a house like what Marwa is living in? It's called a dry cabin. What does a dry cabin mean? It means a cabin that is just a room. It offers you shelter. It may have a fireplace to heat it up, but beyond that it doesn't have, pardon me for that noise, beyond that it doesn't have anything else. Okay, you're getting basic shelter. And that's what Marwa is getting with that house. The plumbing is still iffy. They have this new plumber who seems to know what he's doing. That remains to be seen. He's torn up the house, and not through any fault of his own. He's torn up the house. He's done the best that he could. The electrician is nowhere in sight. They persuaded Marwa to build a gypsum ceiling for the living area, and I mean, this man has no idea what he's doing. The engineer has no idea what he's doing. If he knew what he was doing, he would tell Marwa, don't do this, this is stupid. He's not doing anything of the kind. He's making content, and he's very carefully making sure that the blame is going to fall on somebody else. He's already attacked Paris and made it look like if anything goes wrong with that party and the villagers, it's going to be her fault. I mean, you know, what Marwa needs to do is this. He is in bed. He's in bed and he comes out of bed to say, oh, I'm better, I'm better. Boy, you aren't better. You're suffering from malaria. You may have pneumonia. You may have a cold. You may have the flu. You better sit down before you get laid down and buried. That is a very dangerous disease to play around with. Okay, and people say that Africans have an immunity to malaria or a higher immunity than people who are not from that part of the world. Thousands of Africans get buried because of malaria every single year. And Marwa is not showing the intelligence that some of us initially thought that he had. He has a philosophy that the way that he doesn't believe in traditional medicine. He believes in drinking the tea that you make from boiling vegetables and boiling goat meat. I mean, you know, for a person to deny the benefits of modern medication is such incredibly ignorant rubbish. And I'm willing to bet you that there are people out there that are going, oh, you know, Mama says to just drink soup. Marwa is sick as a dog. And, you know, there's a saying that goes, the lawyer who represents himself has a fool for a client. I say the patient who is his own doctor, okay, or the doctor who is his own patient has a fool for a patient. Okay, modern medicine has a lot of problems, but it also has a lot of strengths. It also has a lot of good things. One of the things that has been very successful in dealing with is, guess what? Malaria, pneumonia, the flu. For a person to be running around saying, oh, I will only drink goat milk, soup made out of goat milk, of goat meat and vegetables. And I will drown myself walking around barefoot in the mud. I'm sorry, folks. Marwa, we're not making fun of you. I mean, all of us wish you well. You know, I have issues with Marwa, but I don't want to see him die. But, you know, I know that you no longer believe in the Bible, or you don't believe in Christianity, but The Old Testament has a verse in the book of Psalms that says, lean not upon your own and I may be wrong about this. Lean not upon your own understanding. Okay? Don't give yourself credit for being too wise, because you may discover in a tragic way that you are not as wise as you think. And for God's sakes, if you are turning everything over to your Father, turn everything over to your Father. And, people want to criticize Conrad's dad, but, he seems to be taking care of himself. He seems to be doing fairly well. He owns all of that land. You're not a foolish man if you manage to do that. The problem, the fault that I see with Conrad's dad is that he's one of these people who adores his sons. He allowed Davy to take that property in the village and pretend that he was going to do something with it, which has come to nothing. And I can't help it but think that he played a prank on Marwa. How do you give a person a swampy piece of bog that's on the edge of a river and not tell him, son, pray to God that a heavy rain doesn't come, and make sure that you keep boats. That you keep boats around you, because you may need them. Who told Marwa to build a flat roof villa without any kind of guttering system to control the water flow from the roof? Who told Marwa to build all of those patios without some kind of lintels on the doors to prevent water from coming in the rain? Who told them to marble the floor of those patios, and then to allow people to go in and out without having any, pardon for that noise, allow people to go in and out of those patios even in the rain? What happens if somebody slips and goes flying off of that balcony? It's the grace of God that nobody has died or being killed or in that catastrophe that they call the Villa Medellin. I call it the Hacienda Mosquito, the Mosquito Ranch. But if you haven't liked and subscribed to this video, please do so. By the grace of God, the numbers are getting very, very good for me. For some of you, I have 430 something subscribers at this, and growing at this point. Let me tell you something. I used to be a deacon, and then I became an elder of a church. Anytime we saw over 300 people in that church, we were very happy. There are people. Have you seen the movie The 300? You'd be surprised what 300 people can do. Fellow the Boy is barely at 6,000, and I hope he only needs 5 more people. I hope some of you go over to Fellow the Boy's channel and subscribe. Fellow the Boy has accomplished remarkable things. The late Fidel Castro, peace be upon him, who, I don't want to talk about his politics. I want to talk about something very remarkable that he did. He conquered his country with 50 men, or a little less than 50 men. What am I saying? Quantity is not what's important. Quality is what's important. And I consider each and every one of you who has subscribed to my channel to be quality people. What makes it quality people? Well, heck, you subscribe to my channel. If you haven't liked to subscribe, please go there and tell a friend to tell a friend. Let's try to get me up to 500, and then let's try to get me up to 1,000. I'm counting on you personally to help me. I'm not running around asking some YouTube guru to give me his blessings. Have you heard Marwa talk about we bless you, then you go? We bless you, then you go. The heck does he think anyway, the only blessing that I search for is the blessing of God. If God blesses me, everything's all right. Again, please like and subscribe. I love each and every one of you. I look forward to doing this every single day. I look forward to making my video. I thought something was going to come up that would prevent me from making my video today. And quite honestly, I was so sad because I'm really, really loving this. Please forgive me. Yesterday, I made a mistake while doing my videos. I made a two-part video and I lost one of the parts. And I tried to find it. I couldn't, but I'm not making that mistake again. Thank you very much, my beloved, and kwaheri. Bye-bye.